Okay, so as per the last video, what I've decided to do is to actually show you how to put in an image. Now, where I'm going to put it is just above here. So you can see that when I click, it automatically shows me the container. And if I go to the container, okay, so that's where that one is, right? So I'm probably going to put it inside that container. So how do I do that? Well, it's pretty simple. What I do is I'm just going to drop that down so I can do a bit of work in there. And sometimes what it does is actually creates a P in there, but I won't do that. My container's properties, I noticed that it is 960 width, and that would be actually wise to go and find an image that is about 960 wide. So what you would do is you'd go to Google Images and just say, okay, I'm going to do pipeline, because that's probably the most famous break. Oh, I can't spell. Pipeline Hawaii or Pipeline Beach. I go to images, right, and I might even choose like what type would we want? Tools, and I'll go size and might go larger than that. So then I get this option, and I might be able to choose an image of pipeline and stuff like that. But I've already done this, I've already chosen one, so I know the size that I've got, and so I don't have to go back and do that again. And what I do is I go to my images, and I placed already an image in there, which is inside here, which is that one there, Mason Ho pipe. Okay, so what I do, and this is, you can do it this way, this is probably the best way to do it. I like to just grab one of these. So I'm going to grab that, copy it, and put it where I want it. So I'll put that in there, and if I refresh, you'll notice that I've got this image over here. Now, that's not where I want it, because it's actually doing properties that I don't want it to do. So it becomes a bit of a bad habit if you actually change the class of this one here, but I'm going to remove that class because I don't want it, and I'm going to actually refresh, and you'll see that it goes over there, because what this image is actually doing is it's actually floating right. So if I double click on that, I can say none. I don't want a float, right? Now, what I can do with it now is if I go over here, and if I double click on it, I can actually find the image that I want. So my image is Mason Ho, this one here, right? And it goes in there like that. Now, if I look at this, if I preview it in Chrome, it's going to go, yes, and it's going to show me this image. Now, that image is in there, right? So that's the original, and now I fixed it up to make it look like that. Now, I'm lucky because this one's actually 990, so it's going to go over that edge, but it's pretty good. And now all I have to do is just do some manipulation of that image. So what I'm going to do is say, all right, it's too big, but if I look at my properties of my container, the properties of my container is 960. So what I would do is go, all right, Mr. Ho, you can be 960. And I don't really like how big you are. So let's see if I can change you to 900 by that. And we'll just check that out. We'll say, yep, it's got all the padding and column widths and everything that I want. And see that dotted line there? I'm probably aiming to be as same size as that dotted line as that one is there. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And I probably think that Hawaii needs to be put up here. So how do I do that? Well, I go and find the word Hawaii, which is right here, right? And if I take that out and I say, all right, I want you above the image, then I can put that there. And when I refresh it, Hawaii goes up there like that. So that's pretty cool. Now, the other thing is also, is that I said to you, I don't like this bit over here, which has this bit. No, it's not. It's over here. It has this bit, and I don't really like this. So when I click on it, right, I can see that this one's called column, hashtag column, right? So div ID column, and it's got all that, right? So if I want to, if I click on that line, it will highlight all that, and then if I hit delete, it will all disappear. Now let's see what happens when I preview that in Chrome. And it could be a dog's breakfast, I don't know, it's really hit and miss sometimes. Okay, So what's happened is, this is, the columns have all gone, and this now has jumped up a little bit. So how do we solve that problem? Well, that's really simple. We can do this. I like to do this idea where we go, all right, there's the image. There is my homepage sign. This part here is really simple to just go, all right, we'll get that, and we go, let's add an extra line in there. So we say P, close, and then /P. Oops. And we can, basically all that is just a clear area, a bit of space, just to do it. Let's see if I can do a couple of them and refresh it. And you'll see that now it's dropped down in that space. So if we go to here, we can see that now, close these ones off, close these ones. And that image is probably still a little bit too big for my liking. Oh, but you didn't go, oh, because I closed the wrong one off. But that's how I tend to do it, is just adding in a few extra things like that, so that that information drops down, so that we can have that. So it's pretty straightforward. The content is that one. So that's our content there, and our image source is there. And what we can do is, I can probably put those ones not there, but I can put them above that image, and then it might be a little bit happier there. Or I might even change them, yeah. So, or I might even change them to an A to say that they're just text. And you just put them in, and you'll find that bit of manipulation, bit of change. Yeah, it's starting to move down now. So let's say, all right, we'll put a couple more in there. All right, so B, let's put a few in there. Or I could even, if I wanted to, I could change the margins of that and get that fixed up that way by changing the content margin, right? So the font size, the color, and everything like that. But if I click this, then I've got font size, I've got width, I've got float, I've got display. Or if I double click, I can say, all right, I want my box to have that, and I want some padding, so I might say same for all, let's say 20, and let's have a margin of 20. Now that's going to really mess it up. But you can see now I've got, whoa, I've got this. That's cool. I can even take these out. All right. Take that out and then go like this, save changes, and just see what happens. And we can play around with it until we like it, you know. So look at that. So now it's got this padding here, and it's got the margins, and that needs a bit more of a margin, so I can play with it, around with it. It's even got a dotted top, so I can do that. And I really want it to be the same width as that. So that would be simply going to this one and going, all right, your width is that. So we said 960, and we don't have any float, but the images do float. And then we say no padding. Don't want any padding, I'll just delete it. All right. And maybe we don't want any margins. We apply that and see what happens. And if we go to here, we can preview that in Chrome, and we can see what happens. And look at that. Now that's spread out. That dotted line is down there now for some reason. I'll have to find that dotted line and see what it is. So somewhere here is a dotted line. Not too sure which one it is, but it's got in here, I would say it's this one. And we can double click on this one now and see what's the box got. Has it got a border? No, it doesn't. So that's not that one. Where is it? All right, well, let's click on, say, this one and see if it's got a border. And we'll say, all right, let's have a look. Yeah, there it is. Look, 1 pixel dot. So border, we can say, the box has a border, I think. I can't see where the box is. Block. But it's there. So somewhere in here, it will have the border. And so I just change it. And you're going to say, well, it's the border there. But no, it's not in there. It might be in the box, but that's not it either. So what has the block got? All right, so if I want to, I can just simply find that border, which it is. Now just double click on that one and then say none. And there I go. And then if I preview this, I can go, all right, let's have a look. And I've got no border there. I still would like that drop down a little bit more. So I might add a big margin there on the top. So for this one, I go, all right, I want that border. If I double click on this and I go, all right, let's say the box, I want a margin, and I want it, say, 20. And I don't want it same for all. I want these ones to be 0 because I'm fine with them. And that means now I've got a margin down there. If I preview that, then I've got my layout like that, and I've got a bit of a gap there, and that's all nice to do. Probably could do with a little bit more information there, and maybe these images get changed or whatever. But there's pretty much what I'm doing with those changes. And so the next one I might do is this one. Make some changes on that one, or I will go to this one, or I'm pretty much showing you how to do the margins and the padding and stuff like that. So you guys can do all those changes as you go. One last thing I want to show you is that you can assign different classes or that have those things. So you can see here, this is the CSS for this image right and image left. They're pretty much the same rules, but you know that you can change them around, and you can do it in this if you want to, but it would take you a fair while to sort of go through and find them. I just like to be able to go there, double click, and make changes. Or if you don't like them, you can actually look at all the different ones that you can choose and change them to that one. So you can see there's the image right and image left ones, image holder, a holder. There's even this one called wrapper, and wrapper tends to be, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Wrapper tends to be the one that actually wraps around the entire lot, and you can make changes with that. But it's pretty cool and pretty easy.